and Daily Chronicle sports editor, Eddie Carriffio. I'm here with NIU Athletic Director, Sean Frazier. Sean, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me here today.
No problem at all, Eddie. You got it.
So I saw Frasers Corner released yesterday, and student athletes are coming back. What was obviously is I know you outlined a lot of the safety issues, but what's kind of been the general attitude and the reaction toward that you've seen?
Yeah, so everybody's chomping at the bit. As you can imagine, we do have athletes that have been in their apartments, have been off campus, kind of in a state of waiting. Obviously, COVID-19 has put a damper on a lot of different things, and as our attempts to preserve health and safety with guidelines from the state, our campus, the Cal Health Department, I can go on, but, people are excited. We're starting that transition, but the first job is to make sure we have the proper testing, have the proper sanitation, sanitizing the different equipment and areas, common areas for both staff and students. So still a lot of work to be done, Eddie, but the mood of it, it does have some normal components, right? People are craving normal. So this is a time where many of our staff and our students are looking at light at the end of the tunnel. So we're encouraged by these steps as we kind of move forward.
It's the both basketball programs and the football program that will be starting as June 15th is the targeted date to start if all goes according to plan, correct?
That is correct.
What are I know this is probably a question that will be developed by the coaches as it goes closer, but in the preliminary discussions you guys have had, what are these workouts going to look like, especially compared to like what a normal June 15th or June 20th kind of workout would look like?
That still hasn't really been developed. Obviously, our sports performance is the one that's going to take the lead to back to play, right, for the physical conditioning side of things.
Who's taking the lead? You cut out there for half a second.
Our sports performance unit, so all of our strength coaches, all the folks that are involved to make sure, because they've been working out. For me to say that they're not in condition is probably not fair.
Right.
And having access to the equipment necessary, having access to a regimented, coach, taking them through drills, strength conditioning type of skills that they have prior to leaving, but not having these few months here, we want to make sure that the physical conditioning is up to standards, quite frankly, and then that we inch them into what they normally were used to prior to the departure. So that still has to be done, and then once that's done, then our coaches, the specific sport team coaches, then we'll take them through the sport-specific drills and things of that nature. So this that still have to go. First off is athletic training and making sure that they're medically clear, COVID testing, making sure that all those pieces are done. That's job one.
And yeah, I know also it's put a kind of damper on the summer activities you guys normally do. You had the summer circuit. Last night, you guys held that with the coaches virtually instead of the normal barnstorm between about 3 or 4 different cities around the state. And then the Victory Ball has become the Victory Bash and will be held over 10 days. So how do you see the adjustment go last night to the summer circuit, and what are you expecting for the Victory Ball Bash?
Yeah, good question. Different medium. I'm glad that we had the opportunity to give that to our fan base, to give them, because they hadn't had a chance one-on-one to talk to all of the coaches and have their time. Different energy level. Obviously we're doing this through the virtual means, through the video. I think it does lose itself when you're just sitting in front of a camera and you're talking into a mic. Obviously Andy Garcia did a fantastic job with monitoring the whole situation, and I think that it also shows that face-to-face contact is definitely necessary in our day and age. So nothing like going to Rockford and then going into a location in Chicagoland and going back onto. So it's a flavor, right? There's a flavor there with our Huskies. and having the amount of graduates throughout Chicagoland. But yeah, we're looking forward to, this is some of the things that we have to adjust to and pivot, right? So yeah, the Victory Bash, we're excited about that. We've actually, instead of having just a one-day event, it's a several-day event. And we'll kick that off, and we'll have different interviews, and we'll have different content that we wouldn't have had, quite frankly, if it was a one-day event. So that actually is going to be we roll that out, because we're going to have different components. We have Jordan Lynch interview. We're going to have different people moderating different things. So it's going to be probably a great, must-see TV if you're a Husky fan, because you're going to see different iterations of what's going on during that 3 or 4 day period.
Yeah, you mentioned the Jordan Lynch one. That one seemed really interesting. I know there was a Huskies in the Pros that was also on tap. Has that been hammered out a little bit? Because I know it was kind of like TBA who they were going to be.
Yeah, we're still going to try to keep y'all guessing a little bit on that. Yeah. No, you know what it is? It's with the schedules and
right
with the NFL players. So we have to be mindful, because we have a good collection of NFL players, undrafted free agents, as well as individuals who are on rosters. So yeah, we got to be, to get them all in alignment there. We have to be very, very strategic with that, because we want to get the maximum number. But I know people want to hear that, so we're going to make it happen for them, and it should be a great experience. I'm looking forward to it. Really
and that one's slated for the what day was that? Do you remember? I want to say it was like the 17th. I don't want to.
Yeah, because the Jordan Lynch, I believe, is on the 12th, I believe.
All the information is available on the NIU website. So,
yeah, I don't have my schedule right here, because I myself for it. So
gotcha journalism. I apologize. All the information available on NIU and on the NIU Huskies webpage for the list of events in conjunction with the Victory Ball. And Sean, while I had you here, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about, and that is, obviously across the country and even in DeKalb locally, I think in DeKalb there's been, I want to say today, which is Thursday when we're taping this, will be the 5th or 6th straight days of Black Lives Matter March in one form or another. I know on Saturday I saw both Lisa Carlson and Mark Montgomery out there, at least that I was able to identify. I know that she's not a student athlete, but I know one of the people who's been active with it is an NIU student going into her senior year. What's it been like for you seeing NIU's involvement from coaches, from students in these marches, in these events?
Yeah, it's been tough. Mindful that we've got the COVID-19 thing going, we've got the race relations issues going, and obviously the devastating event that happened in Minneapolis that killed a man, quite frankly. So from my perspective, as a person of color, this is quite disturbing. And I do appreciate, though, the rallying point of our Huskies, our staff, our community, our leadership. But this is disturbing. I live in this community. I live both in DeKalb and Sycamore, so I've had a chance to kind of bounce around and talk to folks about what's going on. And people are just mad. They're angry. And what we're seeing now is an attempt for a certain level of consciousness around human rights. Okay, let's get past the obligatory race issue. Okay, I'll say it. People are mad, and they want to have frankly, what we're dealing with right now is that unsettledness, and folks that are marching to bring light on something that has been done and they've been wronged. So I'm hoping that we can have and find a middle ground. Our coaches, our leaders, our folks that have been practicing peaceful, non-looting, non-violent type behavior understand that. And I do appreciate that as someone who has spent his entire career on trying to find ways to connect different people, different races, different backgrounds, different genders, all the protected classes, as you can imagine. But it is unsettling. You live in this community, and you You're worried about going outside. You're worried about interacting with people because what? Because of race in this day and age, really? And it's hard to have that conversation. But I do appreciate our leadership. Our president, Lisa Freeman, she's been phenomenal. Our leadership, our coaches. This is the time. This is the time to act. This is where you need to have leadership. And like I said before, if you have not demonstrated some thought process of understanding about these issues, you're going to be at a disadvantage, not just as a leader, but it's in life. Because right now, you're starting to see a lot of folks just fed up with people who don't get it and who marginalize life. And that's just not where it needs to be. So that was a lot. You opened it up. I answered that question, but I appreciate the folks that I work with on a day-to-day basis who believe in this is an issue that they.
You cut out toward the end. You said you appreciated the folks you work with on a day-to-day basis who believe
Basically that this is an issue worth fighting for.
Okay. Well, Sean, thank you very much for the time, and good luck. Hopefully, like you said, things are trying to head back toward normal here. I guess we'll it may not feel like it, but I guess we'll find out.
Well, we'll find out. The COVID-19 is, as you can, these are, go from COVID-19 to, dealing with marching and issues of race relation. Man, I tell you, you're talking about two blows to the jaw. This is quite significant on this time. So I appreciate your reporting out, and anything I can do to keep you in the loop as we kind of unpack this thing, let me know.
Will do. Sean, thanks for the time. Sean Frazier, Athletic Director of Northern Illinois University. Thank you very much.
My pleasure now. Take care.